everybody, it's Jill with Angel Creations. Welcome back to my craft room. I am going to do a little craft that has nothing to do with Valentine's Day today. I am just going to, it's very simple actually. I am going to, I took one of my calendar pages from the Marketplace calendar that says honey, and I forget, I think it was August or June. I'm sorry. But anyways, I just thought it was a really cute picture of the honey. I don't know if you can see through. Up here it says pure, all natural and fresh. And I have, that's from the Dollar Tree, the calendar, the Marketplace. And then I have one of these glass cutting boards also from the Dollar Tree. I'm going to use a little of my matte Mod Podge, Dollar Tree, and some scissors, and I thought I had, oh, right here, paint brush for the Mod Podge. So I think I'm just going to get started right in, and I hope that everyone is well today. And it's a beautiful day here in Florida. Today is Tuesday, the 19th of January. And just opening, this has got a cellophane wrapper or a shrink wrapper. So I have to open that. So yeah, it's a beautiful day here in sunny Florida. I don't know what the temperature is, but all my windows are open. It's actually a little warm. And I have my ceiling fan on. Oh, this is tight on here. I guess they shrink wrap them. And then this has some feet to it. I'm going to see if I can get those off, because I'd rather Mod Podge this on the opposite. I want to Mod Podge it on the opposite side so it will be food safe on the other side. So I'm just going to start by taking my little Cricut tool. It's a spatula. You could use, I might have to turn to one of these, a regular heavy duty one. I might also put my heat gun on it, and that will, sometimes that warms up the, okay, you can't see what I'm doing. There, that's better. So I'm going to try this. If it doesn't work, then, oh, it's coming right off easy. Right off. Easy peasy. Put that in a little bowl. Put those back on when I'm done. And there's two. Oh yeah, these come off nice and easy. Very, very easy. Alright, you know what though? I should get a little Gooby Gone and get that Gooby Gone off there. I don't know if it would show or not, but I also get this at the Dollar Tree. Gooby Gone. So let's put a little bit of that on and see if we can just get that little bit of tacky glue. I know we're putting Mod Podge on it, but I would rather just not have that and have a flat surface to start with. Nice blank canvas. You know what I mean? It might not come off. I might have to scrape some of it off a little bit more, but put a little bit of the Goo Gone, soften the glue up. I saw somebody do this on YouTube where, not this exactly, who was it? Somebody takes their Dollar Tree boards, you know, that you get from the Dollar Tree, the signs that have all the glitter. Somebody takes that and puts the Gooby Gone all over the glitter. Then she puts it in like a wash tub, right? Like you can get at the Dollar Tree, where you do your dishes in, kind of like a dish pan. And then she takes her scraper and she scrapes it all off, and it just comes off so easily. I think she probably just waits a minute or two and then scrapes it right off. And this is scraping right off too. I usually sand all my glitter off and it's a mess. And I don't know why the Dollar Tree has to insist on glittering everything to death. A little glitter isn't so bad because you can get it off easier. So if you're listening, Dollar Tree, speaking of listening, if you are new here, stick around for a while. Hit that subscribe button and join us. We have a lot of fun over here. We're growing. We're an early channel. Just started in May 16th to be exact of 2020. And so still relatively new and growing and having a blast at it. So go ahead and hit that subscribe button. We'd love to have you in our family. All right, putting the cover on this because I'm known to spill everything. So, also having a liquid lunch today at the tail end of my Carnation Instant Breakfast, which has a banana and ice and milk in it. All right, so now that we have our blank canvas, I am going to just put Mod Podge on it. Oh, first we have to cut out, let's trace our picture on here. Now, there is a hole at the top of the picture because it is a calendar. So I'm going to try to go right underneath that because I want these words with the honey and the bee. Or should I do the bot? Well, no, because I can't fit the honey. If I do the honey, I can't fit the Made by Nature. But if I do the pure, I can fit it all with the bee. So I'm going to just trace it like this. Because otherwise, if I do just this, the bottom part that says Made by Nature Pure and Simple, I would only have the bee, not the word honey. So it all depends on what you like. But I want the word pure, all natural, fresh honey with the bee in mind. So that's what I'm going to do. So I'm going to trace it. And I'm making sure that my H is on the board and my Y is on the board. Like so. And then I'm just going to trace it with my pencil. Double checking one more time, but I think it's good. So I'm just going to hold it down and trace my picture. These calendars are so fun because there's so many things you can do with them. Some of these pictures are gorgeous, and the Dollar Tree sells a picture frame that is, it's one of those, what's the word, collage photo frames that you can put different pictures in. But it happens to be 12 by 12, which is the size of these calendar pictures. So it fits a perfect picture for it. It fits a perfect calendar page. And that's so versatile. There's just, you know, it's so cute just to hang a print in your kitchen and be able to change it out when you're done. So, you know, when you're done that holiday, you can frame up another one. Change it out, or just change up your look altogether, you know. So think about that if you see those picture frame collages at the Dollar Tree. They are hard to find. I think they come out maybe once a year. So I've seen them at mine. I don't have anything I want to frame. I really don't. I have a tiny house. You've already heard me say that 1,000 times. But I don't really have a lot of wall space in my home. It's really, I have a ton of windows, which I love because I love light. And just not a lot of wall space. So... And one of my walls is brick. and that's hard to hang things on, but I do have something hanging on it. All right. Let me just get these corners rounded off a little, just because my frame, well, it's not a frame, it's a cutting board. All right, so now we have to make sure we put this on the shiny side, not the bumpy. Hear the bumps? Because that's the cutting board side. This is the side we want to put it on, okay? So I am just going to put some Mod Podge down. I just noticed I have this string thing hanging off my neck. I'll tell you what that is. It unhooks right here. I have it around my neck so that when I go out I can have it there. But what it does is it holds your face mask. So like if you're in and out of the stores like I am a lot, not so much really anymore, but if you're in and out of the stores a lot, what you can do with this, which is from the Dollar Tree, is you hang, I'll show you when I have two hands, but you hang your mask from it, and my ceiling fan is like drying my Mod Podge as I spread it, so this is going to be tricky. Alright, that's probably about all we're going to get. Alright, so I'm going to hurry up. Now I'm putting this down face down so that when I flip it over, it's hard to talk and concentrate at the same time. Alright, now it's on there, and I am just going to smooth it out as much as I can. Smooth out the wrinkles. I don't know where my little scraper is. See, everything in my craft room is changed right now because I've changed it all around, and I usually have a nice green, oh, here it is, right here, but it's probably too late. Alright, get the wrinkles out as much as we can without ripping it. And this was going to be a gift. If it comes out nice, it is going to be a gift. Oh, I just ripped it. That's what we have to. I was a little rough with it. I ripped it. Let me see if I can fix it. Might be able to. Let's see how much. Oh, I can't even see it on the back. Alright, let's just try to get rid of some of these ripples, though. If I had used this green scraper right away when I was putting this on, and my glue, my Mod Podge wasn't drying from my overhead fan being high, I should have got up and turned that down. But that's okay. I'm going to get most of these bubbles out with my fingers. And because the other side has a texture to the glass, you're not even going to see it if there is a little ripple. So hold on. I'm working hard. Working the old elbow grease here on my fingers. And then I'm going to put a piece of felt on the bottom of this anyway when it's done. Before I gift it, you know what I mean? Alright, so there's that. I think I need a little more Mod Podge on the edge here, but it's already dry. That's terrible. I gotta turn my fan down next time. Whoops. Has anybody else ever worked with these glass cutting boards from the Dollar Tree? I'd love to know what you've done with them. Send me a picture. Tell me. Or just tell me in words. I'd love to know. This is my first time using one of these Dollar Tree. Now, there I can see my Mod Podge in places, but I think when it dries, it's gonna, you won't see it. if that makes any sense. I'm kind of dispersing. If you look at my O, you'll see there's puddles, and I'm just kind of making those puddles move. All of them. I'm just trying to make them move. And spread that out so that it's not one big puddle. But I was too rough with it the last time and I ripped it, so I'm going to try to be a little... I know it sounds like I'm being loud, but that's just the hitting it as I do it. Alright, well, I'm pretty happy with that. So now I'm going to take my sanding block, because when this dries, it's going to dry clear, and you're not going to see any of my little... See, that's Mod Podge in there, but you're not going to see that. So I'm going to take my sanding sponge, just because it's so easy to get right up to the edges with this. And I'm just going to go around my edges and smooth it out so that it cuts off all my excess paper. See what it's doing to the paper? It just tears it right off. I need to get a good grip though. All right. Yeah, see how it takes the edge right off? And then you have a perfect edge that fits this board like a glove. It's easier if you go in one direction, I will tell you that, because sometimes you have to go back and forth, but if it's not quite glued down when you go back and forth, you could lift your paper and tear it. So that's just something to think about when you're doing this. Sometimes I take my little scraper. Okay, so I wanted to tell you, get this little scraper at the Dollar Tree where the utensils are sold, and I love it. I love it. I use one on my Cricut too. But anytime I Mod Podge a picture down to, even if it's wood, I use that, and I love it. All right, now I have one more side to do. There. Now, this is what the back looks like. That's not too pretty. I didn't bring any felt over here today to put on here, so I am going to put what I have handy if I have a piece that fits. So I have this piece of burlap. Let's see, and I want to measure it to see if it's going to fit. Sorry about that, I didn't turn off my do not disturb. Okay, so now I'm going to tack this little corner down a little bit better because it is sticking up. Hi, sorry about that. I got a phone call. I don't know why that knocks me out of here. Okay, so I'm going to trace my piece of burlap. I'm gonna cut it. I'm using a white chalk pencil because I didn't think a regular pencil would show up, and I don't even know if this is gonna show up. Yeah, it is. Okay. So now I'm just gonna simply cut that out. Pretty much on the line because I don't really want a lot to hang over. I am going to Mod Podge it so that it doesn't fray. But, okay. And you could do this if you don't have burlap. You can. I was going to do it with a piece of felt. But I forgot to bring it over, and my fabric is handy. So, there's that. Okay. Now, back to gluing again. We're going to glue this down. And we're going to be... I probably am going to give this a little air dry for a moment because this is still a little bit wet. And if you don't let it dry, you can give yourself a lot of headaches you kind of have to let your coat of Mod Podge dry fully between layers, if that makes any sense. So, my kitty cat, it's Gracie May. This is an awesome tool too. I'm sure you've seen me use this on here from time to time. I have a referral link. I'll try to remember. I'm really bad. I got notes here and everything. I'll try to remember to put the referral link for this heat gun. It was, I think, $11 or $12 on Amazon. It's great. I have one over at my epoxy station too for when I'm working on cups. Gets the bubbles out of the epoxy. So, just in case you're interested in it, you know, I think it gives you something and it gives me something, but I don't even really know what, if you use my referral link. But the best part about referral links, to me anyway, is it gets you right into that product. You don't have to go to Amazon and search for it. If you are just looking to get this and you just want this, my referral link will get you right into this, you know, instead of having to fish around looking for it. Alright. Almost. Almost. Let's turn it over and we see if it's drying up in those spots. It is, but it needs a little bit more. A little bit more. I'm not trying to sell anything on my channel, though. I do want you to know that. Please don't ever feel like I'm trying to sell you something, because I'm not. But I will offer you a referral link from the things that I use on here, just in case you're interested. Alright, we're going to call this done for now. Hopefully that will be good. And now this is what we have on the side here. Looks good, doesn't it? Can you see? What a cute little cutting board that's going to be. But before we add the feet back onto it, we have to add this burlap because nobody wants to see an ugly calendar on the back. So, I'm going to put this down on here good with Mod Podge and dry it good. Then I'm going to trim it up with my scissors so we don't have overhang. But we do have overhang in the beginning. And as I put Mod Podge on it, this might shrink in a little bit too when it gets wet. So I always like to have a little tiny bit of overhang when I am working with burlap, because burlap shrinks when it gets wet. So, alright, so I'm just going to do the same thing. I'm just going to put my mud, and you know what, before I do that, people, I'm just going to stand up and turn my fan down a couple of notches. How's that? Alright, so that we have a little time to do this. So, we do have to be a little heavier with the Mod Podge when you're dealing with fabric, because I want this to go through the fabric. You know, it doesn't have to be super, super, super soaked, but it has to be a little bit thicker than we did on paper. When you're doing paper in Mod Podge, less Mod Podge is more. Because of the ripples, when it gets wet, paper gets wet and it wrinkles. And you don't want wrinkles. So less is more. You just want it basically tacky, very, very tacky with Mod Podge. Not so much wet when you're layering paper on it. Alright, so that's good. Here we go. Right down on our cutting board. And yes, while it's still wet, I'm using my scraper to put this all down nice and flat. All around the edges, nice and flat. Hope you can see. It's really nice and flat. I see the Mod Podge poking through my material, which is exactly what I want it to do. And you see on this thing, it has a curved side. That's the side I'm using. when I use this. Most of the time, anyway. All right, now I am going to give this a little air. And when I go back, I'm going to Mod Podge over it. And I'm going to make sure I get the edges so that they're stiff when I cut them. This is just hitting the table, my cord here. So, yeah, so if anybody's seen these at the Dollar Tree, let me know. I thought that was kind of a cool thing. If you're in and out, you know, say I'm in Hobby Lobby, have my mask on, and I have this hook to it. Well, as soon as I get through those doors, I'm going to pull my mask off. I usually just pull it down, but, you know, it's my ear goes like this, and so I'll get outside the store and I can just drop it and it will hang here on my chest. And then I can get in the car and say I have to go to the bank after that. Then I'll just put it on again. It might be more of a nuisance than anything. Today's my first day, so I just hung it here right now because I haven't gone out of the house yet. But I wanted it here so that when I did put my mask on, I could hook it on and try it out. So I'll let you know what I think of it. Alright. I'm going to call that good. And we're going to do the same thing again. We're going to just pour our Mod Podge all over it. And we're going to only do a little at a time. We're not going to do the whole thing because it's drying on us. So we're just going to do a little at a time. Making sure we get the edges. Can you see what I'm doing? Making sure you get the edges good, because that's where we're gonna cut it. And I want them to be hard and crispy. But make sure that you don't go the opposite way. Go to the edges outward, because if you go in this way, you're going to... we don't want it going that direction at all. So we have to go with the direction that we want it to go into, which is falling down over the edges in this case. There. All right, now I'm going to work with another couple of inches. Making sure I get my outside edges good first, because then I can go back over them. I'm kind of pushing my brush in a little too, into the fabric a little. And this is matte, so it's going to dry matte. You know, it's not going to be shiny. I missed a spot up here. I'm just going to fill that in a little. And I might have to do a coat or two. I'm not sure. Like I said, this is my first time. So, all right, now I'm going to do another 2 inches. And I'm kind of overlapping the last spot that I've already Mod Podged just to get, and I'm doing my outside edges first. And making sure it's really good and covered. I'm hoping we're not going to have to wear these masks much longer. But Florida and California aren't doing so well right now with surges. So I'm still wearing my mask. But I have noticed, I don't know about you guys, but I've noticed, and I don't know where you live, but I have noticed people that are not even wearing masks in stores. And I don't think the stores are even cracking down on them. Not in Florida. I remember when masks were first required, first mandated by our governor, the stores were very, very strict, and they were watching everyone that came in and you were required to wear a mask. And I heard a lot of arguments by people saying, oh, it was against their rights or their amendment to do, you know, blah, 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 blah. But whatever you're feeling about it may be, whether it's right or wrong to force us or not to wear a mask, the store manager isn't going to lose his or her job over one person not wanting to obey the rules, right? So it's not their fault that the governor said you can't go in their store anymore without wearing a mask. So don't give them a hard time. That's what I feel, because they're just trying to keep their jobs, you know? There's cameras in stores, and if they're not following the rules themselves, then they're not a good store manager, and they'll lose their job. So don't give the... I'm not saying any of my angels do that, though. I know you don't. I'm just saying, when it first started, I saw so many people giving... Not really. That's exaggerating. I did see probably a good handful of arguments. And funny enough, most of those were at the Dollar Tree. I think 3 out of 5 were at the Dollar Tree. One was just at a convenience store. And one was outside of Walmart. And they had police and everything. And he's arguing. But, listen, I don't like it. I don't want to wear a mask. You don't want to wear a mask. None of us like wearing it. None of us. At least I haven't met anybody yet that likes wearing a mask. Except for when I broke my tooth. Then I liked wearing my mask because I could go out. It was a weekend. And I could go out with my mask and nobody even knew. But I couldn't get on here. Okay, so this is darkening up nicely, and you should be able to see it on TV, on screen. So I'm just drying this, and I'm going to trim the edges and then probably put another coat. Okay, 3 times the charm. Let's try this again. That time my phone died. So it's plugged in now. Let's see if we can get through this craft. We're still drying this. Let me just see if I can give you an idea. Can you see where the Mod Podge is still wet? But then that's going to be so cute. Look at that. It's going to be so cute. But we still have to dry it. We can't really handle it much yet. So, drying it as quickly as I can. And then I'm going to, like I said, then I'm going to trim up these edges, but I'm going to put another coat. Maybe I'll just put another coat of Mod Podge over the edges to seal it in. Might not need it back here, but I definitely need to seal the edges a little bit stronger than one coat. So... there's that. So, what is going on in your neck of the woods? I've been on here to do a few Dollar Tree hauls, and I've been doing lots of changes to my craft room, but I don't know what's going on in your lives. Please tell me in the comments. Let's get to know each other a little. And, I do have a really good friend that is a big, big, big part of my angel creation audience. She's a special best friend from where I grew up in New Hampshire, and she had a terrible tragedy in her life yesterday, and I was going to get on and do a live craft on Facebook, but I just was so sad for her. And she's so far. She's up in New Hampshire and I'm down here, and all I want to do is go hug her. And if you're watching this, Linda, I love you, girlfriend. I'm here. Call me anytime, day or night. You know that. We spoke last night, but you know that. So, for anybody else on here, if you are a praying person, please pray for her and her family. You don't need to know the details, because God does. So if you could just say a little prayer for Linda. There's lots of Lindas on here, but she knows who she is. And that would be really great. Alright, let's give this a minute now. See if we can just look so good. And put it down this way a little. Let it weigh it down. It's getting, the glass is getting a little hot to handle for me. So, the reason I have this kind of a lunch, if I have anything at all, is because I have lupus and I struggle with nausea. My stomach has, I don't know, we don't care, right? But I struggle with nausea and I don't have an appetite all day long until about 4 or 5, well, not even. Sometimes it's like 6 or 7 at night. But by then I'm a diabetic also, so by then I get the sugar shakes. So I try to, I don't have an appetite, so I don't want to eat anything or bite into anything or chew anything. But I will drink something if it's tasty. So what I do is I just mix ice cubes and 8 ounces of milk and a packet of, this one is strawberry Carnation Instant Breakfast, just a package of it. Sometimes I put a little yogurt instead, a little drinkable yogurt instead of milk, but I didn't have one today. I prefer it with yogurt. It's a much better, healthier drink for me. And then I just put a banana. I peel a banana and break it up and put it in. And this is my NutriBullet. And I just put it on for a second or two, and there's my lunch. So, and it's very yummy. It's strawberry banana. I say it tastes like a frap, and nobody knows what a frap is here in where I live here in Florida. And I have to giggle, but my New England friends know what a frap is. But a frap is a milkshake here, and that's what that tastes like, a strawberry banana milkshake. So sometimes I make myself one of those. All right, so now I'm just going to trim up my edges. Going as close as I can to my glass. At an angle, kind of. I really need to get some new craft scissors this year. And you know, is it Westcott? Is that the brand name? Or Westcoat? Scissors? Walmart's been, not Walmart, Dollar Tree's been carrying those at my Dollar Tree. I should pick some up. I never think of scissors when I'm at the Dollar Tree, and I should. Alright, that looks good. We got a nice, oh, no we don't. Nice, good, even trim. I suppose you could probably use a X-Acto knife or something on here too, but scissors are just as easy. So can you see we have a nice clean edge now all the way around, or at least we want that. All right, and now you got it. I'm gonna Mod Podge it again. How cute is this so far? I love it. All right, so Doesn't it look like there's something on here, though? I guess it was on the picture. Now that I'm looking at it, though, you have a glare. I wish it wasn't there. But it had to be because I'm not bleeding or anything. Okay, so now I'm going to do another coat. I'm just going to go around the edges, though, with some Mod Podge this time. Just a little bit on the edges, just to make sure it's nice and sealed in. Can you see what I'm doing? I'm touching the glass and my burlap, so they become one together. All right. I just rub that all in on the front. We don't want Mod Podge on the front. So be careful when you're doing that. All right. Then I'm just going to put another bead of Mod Podge right down. Can you see? Am I going? Okay. I don't know. I was beginning to think this video would never happen. 3 tries. Alright, so again, making sure I'm hitting both edges of this, the burlap and the glass. Now this is not washable. I mean, it's probably hand washable, but this wouldn't be able to go into like a dishwasher or anything because I'm not using dishwasher Mod Podge. So this will just be a hand wash cutting board only. It's meant to be like, I'm going to gift it with some grapes and some cheese and crackers, not wine. I would pair it with wine, but my friend doesn't drink, so I am just going to do some cheese and crackers and grapes and maybe even just a cheese knife, if I can find a pretty cheese knife to go with it. And like I said, I'm just here to inspire you, so you could make this for yourself or your friends or to sell or to gift, but they could be paired with so many different things. You know, a little beef salami, cheese, crackers, something like that. All right, now I'm going to show you, but I'm just going to let this air dry. And this is what it looks like on the back. The top's already drying. I just went around the edges so they don't fray. See? So, but I am going to wipe off the front wherever I got Mod Podge on the front, because that will make it foggy. I don't really have a clean towel here. I have paint on this one, so just use a little paper towel, and I'm just going to go around the edges and make sure that it didn't bleed through, so it's not hard to get off later. All right, there's the back, here's the front, and now we're going to put these little legs back on. You know what I'm going to do? Flip over my board so we don't have any glue or Mod Podge on it. And then we're going to take a little tiny bit of, I might even use my tweezers here because I burnt myself so bad recently. Now I'm going to take a little bit of hot glue. And I'm going to stick my feet right back on, even though the Mod Podge is still a little bit wet. That's okay. We'll all work together. And I'm just going to put my feet back on in the edges and the corners. putting them in my tweezers first. I'm learning. I had a really good burn. 2 burns. They're still on my fingers. One's in my knuckle in between my fingers. That was sore. Right here. Can you see? It doesn't look like anything anymore. It's been a while. It's when I made my gnome. And this one is hard as a rock now, where the blister was. Uh-oh. Oh, I thought I lost one of my feet. Can't have 3 feet. Whoop. So this was pretty simple, but it turns out as a nice little gift, and it's from the heart. You made it yourself. My friend is a tea drinker, and she loves honey, and I just thought that she would like this. I'm also making her a mug, a tea mug. Her birthday is February 1st. I hope she's not watching because she'll know what she's getting. All right, so there's our feet. We got all of our feet back on. Can you see? And here is our finished little project. Can you see? How cute is that? And I love this. I just am so happy. And you can do this with anything. You can do it with fabric. You can do it with paint on the back. You could paint something. You could add scrapbooking paper. You could use any calendar, any picture, even a photo you could use. If you use the right Mod Podge, because you don't want to ruin your photo. But that's just quick, simple, and it turns out so nice. Little glue cobwebby, spider webbies. But look at how nice. It's not quite dry yet all the way, but it's going to be beautiful when it is totally dry. And I think my friend will love this like I do. So, all right, everybody. Well, thank you for joining me. Please like, share, and subscribe, and do all the things. And I will see you again soon with another Dollar Tree haul and some more crafts that we can do together. So please join me if you haven't already. Come to the Angel Creations family. And I hope until I see you all the next time, you're well and safe. And don't forget, wear your mask and try one of these. Bye now.